Ready?
Ready.
Cheers. Cheers. Happy first episode.
Oh my goodness.
We're finally here after multiple, I feel like, years of planning. But anyways, welcome to
Everything and more.
We're figuring this out as we go. We're going to kind of go through a couple different topics.
Yeah, we just want to kind of start from where we started,
Yeah, let's start. Let's start from where we started.
Let's start from where we started.
All right. I'm Jeannette. I'm originally from the Chicagoland area. I moved to Charlotte about 7-ish years ago, but before moving to Charlotte, I was working for a digital marketing company, working on Google Ads, websites, social media, all those different kind of platforms on the internet, helping clients succeed, become the top ranked person, get them in the most ideal position to convert and make money at their business. So that's where I had the opportunity to move down here. My first couple of years was definitely different. It was right before the pandemic, so I was here about 2 years before the pandemic. So
Which was so different in Charlotte.
So different. I mean, when I first moved down here, I asked Uber drivers, how many people are moving to Charlotte? It was 60 people. 60. Fast forward like 3-4 years after that, it was 100 to 200 people a day. A day. Charlotte has evolved. So It's really exciting. But now I work for a sporting entertainment company, helping people get closer to athletes, to behind the scenes, to be able to go to some amazing different areas. I don't want to spill too much. I'm now currently in an older company, but when I first moved down, it was a startup. When I first moved down here, I was single and just kind of ready to see what the world was going to give me. Currently in a committed relationship, which has been really great. It's been very diverse. I think that's a whole different topic for a whole nother day because
we're trying to keep it short tonight. Just give you a quick rundown of who we are. And
yeah. But I met Shay at a birthday party.
That is right.
And I think it was like around this time.
Okay, you're taking me back.
I know, and it was like snowing, and we went to dinner. It was just like, okay, we connected. I think your significant other at the time was like, okay, I'm gonna go home, and I was like, Shay, who's this blonde girl that's taking a picture with me? Like, I was so in awe of Shay. I was like, who is this wonderful lady, and what does she have to offer? And I was like taken back by just how magnetic you were and how exciting you were and how
that's so kind of you.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we're magnetic together, and I think that's why this podcast and being roommates just works, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about myself. I could talk about me all day.
And we will continue.
Yes.
As the podcast goes on. I'm just trying to think. I have lived many lives, so where do I start? So I grew up in the mountains of Western North Carolina, in Waynesville, North Carolina. Actually, my mom and dad are passed away, but I have 2 wonderful brothers, nieces and nephews, and a ton of cousins. Then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia for 5 years, and it was kind of like your movement to Charlotte, right? I really didn't know anyone. I was starting a new career, getting into mortgage, and it was tough times, and it was taught me a lot. And then I decided that I wanted to be closer to my family, and I moved to Charlotte because it's a little closer, maybe an hour, and was working as an underwriter for like 19 years basically at a large bank. And then I was in an 8-year relationship that taught me a lot. And when I decided that it was time to move on, my life really changed over that year. It's like that decision, it changed everything. Anyway, we'll get into that later, but that's how Jeannette and I became roommates, because I really needed a roommate to ride out my lease.
Yes.
And we got along so well.
Yes.
When we met, it was just a perfect fit.
It was.
And
it was
then
really good.
Rolling into I'm building my life back because broke up with a boyfriend, lost Callie, and she was there for me during that really hard time. And we'll have to talk about dogs on this episode at some point. And then I rolled into losing my job. Almost the whole department got laid off. Speed up till now, I'm a manager of a startup, a mortgage product that I absolutely love. And I had never been single. And Jeannette just taught me everything. I'm not kidding.
I guided you.
She guided me, but you had so much knowledge that I just didn't even know.
And I was like, why don't you know this already?
Yeah, because I come from a different dating era where you date and you are now together.
Right. You are starting an acting career. You're looking to move.
Well, I don't know if I'm starting an acting career.
Well,
I'm taking acting classes to learn more about the industry because
it's a career.
I'm an executive producer of a movie being filmed in LA. And so that's a whole new adventure for me.
Yes.
So, got my apartment, got my job, haven't got the dog back, still working on a relationship. And gosh, more about me is just I love charity, and I'm known for helping people all around Charlotte, mentoring them, and then my main cause is survivors of human trafficking, and we'll definitely get into charity, and we'll have some of my charity sisters on here to share about all the good that's being done in Charlotte, and that's just a quick recap.
All right. So originally we were going to be 2 bottles.
Yes.
And just for content purposes, we are 2 bottles.
We are 2 bottles. We actually are 2 bottles of champagne.
2 bottles of champagne, of wine, of bubbly, exciting, who knows what's going to happen. Yeah. So when we started talking about a podcast, we definitely had an experience. We were living together, which we'll get into, but I think a lot of it started off from where we wanted to record, but I wanted to be in a place called The Crown. That's where we live together. But do you want to start us off with the story? How
we evolved in the story? Yeah. So we were at The Crown on the rooftop just because we're going to be new roommates. We're like, okay, we need 2 bottles because one's never enough. And we went up to the rooftop. It starts to get dark, and 2 guys walked in and wanted to join us. Is it okay to come out there? And we're like, sure,
come sit down.
Have a seat. It's completely dark when we're on the rooftop overlooking the beautiful Queen City. And we just start questioning them.
I honestly can't tell you what we started questioning them about, and I feel like your memory of this is clear. And I'm like, oh, okay, I remember talking, but I don't remember what the questions were. So
I actually don't remember the questions either, but the whole thing was we were asking them questions about their life, and then all of a sudden they were like, I feel like I'm on a show, because they're actually sitting at a different table than us. Yep. And then we started really getting into it, pretending like we were on a show or a podcast.
I feel like it came like organically. I feel like it was
really
just like as our personalities. We're like, oh, maybe we should do that.
Yes. So that's where 2 bottles started. And then when I came to Jeannette, when we decided it was time, I was like, listen, I'm getting ready to start this brand, Bougie Sweet, everything and more. And I really just want it to be under that umbrella, because 2 bottles was a really different era for both of us.
Yes, it really was. And I think the fact that now we are realizing there's more to just 2 bottles of life, 2 bottles of us. That's where I think that development of everything and more really kind of came from. I think it allows us to have diverse conversations and allow our conversations to just kind of be centered, but also just kind of see where things go. Like,
we just started brainstorming back then and writing down different life scenarios, let me tell you. Yeah. We didn't realize that we were creating so much content as we were just going through the motions of life. And there we were at the end, and we were like, we have a lot of content.
We made a sheet on our phones and just started adding things.
Shared notes,
ideas, little situations that we were in, comments that were made.
Great quotes that we came up with during that time.
So it'll be fun. I think it will allow others to see that life is just kind of an organic thing, a 2-bottle, a bubbly experience, a real situation, a transformation, whatever it is, addition,
So how is this different from other podcasts?
Yes.
We want to do a pop-up podcast here and there.
What is a pop-up?
I don't know.
I think it's a good season, because like there's so many pop-up bars right now that can maybe paint the idea for you guys, but pop-up to us I think is really special because I think that's something that organically also happened for us. Not only the first kind of situation with the two guys on the rooftop, but also when we go out to bars or when we went out to restaurants and when we were just out walking.
The people that came up to us were, it was such an interesting night every time Jeannette and I were together. Like it was, right?
It really was.
And we really attracted some unique people.
Oh yeah, they were
and interesting
characters in our books.
Like the conversations, I just do believe that one conversation can change the world.
Oh yeah. So. I mean, you once told me life can change over a cup of coffee.
It
can. I believe it. Yeah. So our pop-up podcast is, we're going to try to do something like this where we kind of do a little bit of recording in a studio or a place where we are able to go to different spots, do a little recording.
Locations.
See if there's anything that we want to talk about on the fly, kind of let
something organically to happen. Organic conversations with people will be fun.
Yep. It could be someone that we sit next to. Typically, we like to sit at the bars to allow that freedom and let people sit next to us. We typically aren't at booths, so
no,
it's too secluded.
Yeah,
like,
it's not my energy. Like,
yeah.
So we love conversations, so we can't get that at the booth. I'll just tell you that.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we are going to find another spot to go record at. We picked one of our stomping grounds, so to say.
Barcelona Wine Bar.
Barcelona.
That's where we kind of started. So we
Um,
thought we would just start there and see what happens. But
Yeah.
But can we now give the teasers?
Yeah.
Are we ready? So, okay.
In our episodes, we talked a lot about what we wanted to talk about. We were brainstorming about what we wanted to make this podcast about, not only the pop-up area and
the people that we want to have on there, but just topics.
We
could talk about ourselves.
We could talk about ourselves. We can talk about things that we have done together. There's so many topics. I'm just thinking like, there's so many different things that I'm like running through my head, which is going to be awesome content.
And we have amazing people around us that are doing so unique things, great things, and they want to come on our show. So
I know we're going to start like a invite list or like a guest list.
So over that year that we were together, we started brainstorming, writing down notes that we shared in the beginning. So we're just going to give you guys a few teasers and things we came up with.
Yeah. So
we're just going to go right into it.
So some teasers that we love to talk about because I think they apply to daily life, but also just kind of, I'm very stoic, so I like to kind of think like, how can you ride the wave of life, right? Like, I think there's a lot to go into it. I could talk about riding the wave and the analogies all day.
I use riding the wave a lot now.
Do you?
I do. Because of our conversation that we had. Yeah, no, I apply it to my life.
Oh, good.
All the time.
All right, so
that's going to be a great conversation.
That's gonna be
so reading the room, and I think
I love reading the room.
Yeah, I feel like I'm good at reading the room, and maybe mine is different than yours. I don't know, but like I love to read the room and read the energy. I feel like I can read people's energy and pick up on it very quickly in what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And I think it's important in life to read the room.
Yeah, you need to know
what
you're walking into.
What you're walking into. Also, how to flex your personality to that other person so you can make a productive conversation or a productive relationship in whatever form it is in.
Yes.
So
1,000%. And I think that translates over to even like yourself and your identity. And so this kind of goes hand in hand where it's like you are transitioning your identity into something, or what are you doing to transition your identity? Or
yes, and that's what I'm actually in the middle of transforming my identity.
Yeah.
Since, I think I've came a long way since we were rooming together.
Yes. Yes.
But I am transforming my identity and it's happening, I'm trying to live in the present too.
Yep.
But it's a slower transformation.
Yep. Transformations are going to have different outcomes and maybe not be exactly what
different meanings,
but it's good.
Yeah, it's
transformations
so good.
are amazing.
Oh, that's going to be a great topic too.
Yes. So
what's the next
the
one?
last one that we are going to give a little details on, or a little tea on, is going to be the creator, not the reactor. which I think is really exciting because this is something that I picked up from Shay, and I don't think she knows.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I love creating.
You love creating content,
Yeah.
but it's not for like others. You're doing it for yourself. And so many people react in a positive way.
Oh.
And like a lot of people are like, that's how I am with you. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to be the person that a lot of people react to in a positive way. So that's where I'm saying, be the creator, not the reactor.
Yeah, I definitely am not a reactor in life.
Yeah.
I just like to keep it steady.
You do
Create positivity is like the key, I think.
Exactly.
I did not know that was about me.
Yeah.
So,
Not
anyway.
only about you. It's not all about you. It's a lot about you because you are doing a great job at creating. And
you are actually
we also do a great job
She
at
is
reacting.
a great creator.
We'll get there. I think there's a lot of awesome things that you have gave to me in a lot of different ways that I don't think you maybe acknowledge, but also I think there's a lot of exactly like the fashion, the giving back, the electricity of just moving into a new space that you have never been into. So I think there's a lot of great things. There's a lot of okay, what is Shay doing? What can I do that's very similar to you? Because you're always willing to try. You're always willing to do something that's different, which is not common. So I think that is always an inspiration to myself, which I think will be great for others to know as well. So it'll be good.
My life is different. It's not conventional.
No.
So.
But I think there's parts that people will definitely relate to. But our last topic, which
we have named a place in Charlotte. You know how it has its different pockets. We have Uptown, Noda,
Dilworth,
Loso. So we have actually named an area, and we need to bring it to the city.
It's been a year since we've created this.
I cannot believe it. Let's announce it. Upso. Where is Upso in Charlotte? It's sitting on Moorhead. It's kind of where the Crown is.
The highest peak, I think, in Charlotte.
Highest peak. It's on the end of South End, and it's on the edge of Uptown. So it's Upso. I love it.
I do too.
So we're going to have to talk about that. We're going to get the city actually to rename it.
I think exactly. So with that being said, let's get to the town.
Oh, let's go. Hey, Barcelona. Cheers.
See you guys there.
Thank you for joining. Everything and more.
Everything and more.
Ooh, I'm so excited for us.
Yay.
And all of you guys.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
Cut.